Hello and welcome back. Today is day 51 of learning how to draw in 365 days, or seeing how far I can get in 365 days. I did not stream yesterday. Was I had prepped for the food, but I had not prepped for the amount of cleaning I would need to do. So that surprised me, and that is the main reason of why I didn't stream yesterday, because oh my goodness, the amount of cleaning I did. I was in the kitchen, not cooking, but cleaning all day because I prepped so well. And then everything just exploded. Um, yeah, everything exploded yesterday as well. Um, like the shows that kind of like are just like the shows that like joke around about like dinner and like everything's ruined and everything like that. That was me. That was me yesterday. So I took a break because not only did we had undercooked turkey that we had let rest, so it's not like we could have just put it back in the oven. We also ended up cooking it wrong, and then my breakfast didn't cook or whatever. So it was just like a lot of things just not wanting to cook yesterday. So and then I had to do all the cleaning. So today was a lot better. I was able to get the reheat the turkey so that it was cooked well, and then we what was it? So yeah, so today was a good day. Today is also going to be a quieter day. I think a shorter day as well, just to kind of, allow me to get back to where I need to be for the week ahead, because next week is a full normal week. All right, so I read more on this, and I just want to kind of explain. So yesterday instead of streaming, I ended up just reading this, which ended up being a mental exercise all in itself, because I'm just gonna do this is the introduction. I'm gonna be reading from the introduction, okay, and just the first paragraph, because this is the amount of attention you need when reading this book. Okay, so it starts. As the Lessons on Art differ so widely from any other work of the kind yet offered to the public, some explanation may be required of the objects sought to be obtained by them, in order that teachers may judge of what is here intended to aid them in their attempts to impart instruction, and to enable parents and the public to comprehend what benefit may be derived from art if properly studied. Okay, and yeah, and it's amazing. So this was originally written in oh gosh, I think this is 1860, because this is the second edition. It's not the first edition. It's the second edition. It was originally published in London in 1860. Oh, James Duffield Harding, 1798 to 1863, because he was talking about possibly doing more and different works that would be that he would put into place depending on how this went and what people said they needed. But I mean, 3 years after this publication, I wonder if this was his last. Sorry. Anyways, and then he also gets into how to hold the pen and what pen you should use, which he states you should use pencil, and he also goes into stating that until you're accurate in your drawing, you should be using. He stated for the teacher's drawing aids. Truths of nature are placed before the mind of the pupil and their imitation. Few will have studied art and not have occasion to test its value. That's the objects I had. Nope. Tradition is progressive. The first lesson is preparatory to the second to the third, and so on. No attempt could be made to point out to you the various errors into which you are liable to fall. Your tutor, if you have one, will judge of your performances and will point out any errors which may have escaped your less practiced observation. No lesson can be said to be really learned unless this can be done. Read over everything beforehand, and you should read aloud while you're looking at the example drawing. Okay, here it is. You should be furnished with a straight and a triangular ruler and a pair of compasses to be used only when you have first tried each lesson by the eye and as here recommended. The object is first to exercise your eye, then to set before it rigid accuracy from the production and contemplation of which your hand and eye will become more accurate without the aid of mathematical instruments. So basically, you use mathematical instruments in order to, what's the term? In order to become accurate at your drawing. So that's something that we are probably going to have to change. So today is going to be another boring day because I am still going to start at lesson 1, which is going to be the drawing of the different lines. And considering I haven't gone past A, B, C, D, we haven't even gone to E, F, G, and H. So because of that, it is going to be, I guess, another boring. Hold on. Lesson 2. Oh, so we don't even get to that. First, we have to just do A, B, C, D. We aren't even getting into. Yep, we're just doing A and B with the first lesson. Okay. Well, the book decided it wanted to close and to tell me that, hey, it's time to just go. Stop messing around. Okay, hold on. I need to check what. Okay, cool. So we'll start with this paper first. And this is just to warm up. I also want to start. There's 127 lessons in this book, by the way. But I want to start with how to hold the pen accurately. And it's going to be weird. So it's more like this. You want to hold it more like this. And this allows you to do more accurate lines, I guess. So, alright. So this is where we're starting. But, so yeah, reading this book is in and of itself just a mental exercise on because you have to pay attention. And then it dawned on me that nowadays the way in which talking and writing is done is a lot less complex. And so I decided to go down the rabbit hole of trying to determine what if that meant we are less educated now than somebody in the 1800s, right? Like, because, like, I don't know, it just seems as if. So this is a very weird way of drawing, I must admit. Like, how I'm holding the pencil. I don't even know if I'm holding it accurately or not. But like your hand's supposed to be out, not towards you. The pen and the pencil, like this is supposed to be, yeah, kind of like that. And I must say, it does allow for better movement, definitely. Like, it's not as hard to move the pen across the paper as it's been. So that's kind of cool, but it is definitely different. I will give you that. It is very different holding the pen like this. Now, so I knew I wanted to implement changes, and I was kind of hoping that I would have more time to be able to implement the changes this week with the holidays. And that's why I took like a day off, but it's turning into a more like gradual change instead of an all at once change. Like the flow of the pot, the stream has, I don't know if you noticed, but it has been getting more structured, where I kind of introduce the topic and what's going on, and then there's the warm up, and then from there we go into the actual exercise, which has kind of been uh, this from the start, except I think it's just more pronounced and I'm stating it more. And I think that the introduction has got more of a flow to it now than it did, and it's a little more structured. So that's what I mean by like more subtler change, as opposed to, oh, we'll have like graphics and stuff like that, or I don't know. It's kind of, and then I realized that I just do not have the time to do more graphics or really put any like editing into this or anything. That's why there's no videos and it's just streams. But yeah, I can see. I know my hand keeps wanting to go back to how I hold a pen for writing. It's like, no, don't go back. It's definitely a lot easier to move the pen. Oh, and then he was even talking about the different types of instrument, and in the 1800s they still used lead instead of graphite. And so because he kept being like, oh, the lead of the pencil, there's different harnesses of the lead, and like you don't want to use certain things. And then they was talking about chalk, because I get it's lead and chalk are the two main types of drawing instruments. And the introduction was kind of like more like a persuasive essay to the parents, basically saying, let your child learn art. Was kind of interesting because art, definitely in what the school I was going through, wasn't seen as important a thing to study. In fact, it was kind of seen as like, this is the throwaway subject, like, right? Which is kind of sad, because he makes a really good argument for why you should learn how to draw. And it's basically because it gives you a more accurate way of like seeing what is around you, and being able to oh, what's the word, and being able to analyze it and kind of structure it. So it gives I guess it even gives like a kind of a purpose in how you go about viewing what's just there in your everyday, right? Instead of just being, oh, look, it's like, no, like, okay, this is a thing, this is a thing, this is a thing, this is how this is going to work. So it kind of makes it to where, um, where you'd be able to analyze and learn easier other subjects and stuff. So it was very interesting, and I definitely think I don't know how people study art now, but definitely at least in my elementary school, it it's kind of a an overlooked subject, and it's also not utilized in the way I think it could be. It's not as it's like art could be a lot more structured, but also it's like elementary school, so how structured can you make art? To like, but I wish it was something that I had in high school. And then I had learned the violin, and I did take violin lessons all through high school. I kind of wish a more I had more of an understanding, instead of like, here are your notes, here are here's the equipment. Here's how you can use the equipment. I wish there had been like some sort of, I guess, music theory and concept and stuff on like, this is your like in the beginning when I first started, because I started learning when I was 8. If it had been more of like, hey, this is your instrument, this is how the instrument works, like, like something, just kind of giving that background knowledge. Because I'd gone through what I played from the time I was 8 to the time I was 17, so almost 9 years, and didn't understand the instrument in which I was playing. I knew this is a bow, this is the violin, this is the strings, this is the noise the strings is supposed to make based upon what I'm doing with the bow or my hands. But that was it. Like, that was the most understanding I absolutely had of playing. And it, realizing now that it's like, there's like the makeup and how the instrument is made allows for the sound to, like, getting into that would have been extremely helpful for me to move forward with, this is how you play the violin and this is what you're going to do. Because I am a very I very much need to know the big picture before I'm able to understand the small picture. And when I'm not given the big picture and I'm only given the small picture, I think the small picture is the big picture, right? Like, I don't understand if it's not told to me that the thing I'm doing is just the small. There's a bigger picture. And I mean, I understand that it's just one instrument in an entire orchestra, and the orchestra has so many different instruments, and I understand like what type of role the violin was supposed to play in the orchestra. Like, I at least had that much, but I didn't really get an in-depth knowledge of what the violin was at its core, right? And I think with that lack of knowledge and studying, it really became a crutch to my playing. So it's sad that that's kind of how the arts are given, because it's like, you can't do it like the arts, you're not going to go anywhere with the arts. You have to be like extremely talented and born with a gift of art in order to go anywhere with it. And it's like, but it's because you're not trained or given the chance to understand it and be able to incorporate it and stuff. Because I never understood this, right? But I was really, really great with the science behind the violin. Like, the frequencies are what changes the pitch and like the volume and all of that. Like, I could grasp that concepts if I had been given them, because I was able to understand those when I was learning physics in high school, because physics was one of the things we had to learn, and it would come up in physics, it came up in math when you're learning trigonometry, cosine, sine. Is that trigonometry or is that calculus? But like, see how like they all interplay, because even now I've been doing like mathematical concepts, or like all these mathematical concepts have been like kind of like coming to the forefront of my mind, just because I'm like, oh, these like are so similar and they remind me of all these things. And so it's kind of cool, because it's like, if we had been able to just have it, I don't know, like a study or something like that, where it all kind of just evolves, because they go into like, oh, look at your shadow, you can tell the time, and like based upon all of these different sides, so like you do use math and stuff like that. But it's like, that's not like, if you had actually been like, okay, in art class you're going to learn these mathematical concepts because they're going to help you with art. In math you're going to learn all these art concepts because they're going to help you with math. Like, if it was kind of stuff like in more interspersed, instead of just being like, this is math and this is what you're going to do for math, and then this is art and this is what you're going to do with art, or this is music and this is what you're going to do, and it's never and unless you're able to do that on your own, it's never actually gone out and said, hey, all of these things interplay with each other. And I'm sure there's a lot more subjects that do that. I'm pretty sure there are. But it's just like, it's, oh no, I think it's an overlooked thing that would help a lot of people and kind of help us to be more well rounded and able to do more things. Because I think more and more people will retain the information after they learn the subject and no longer, and they think they no longer have to use it. There we go. The ink is back. Oh, there we go. And this is just me looking at how I was educated, which again, though I had some learning difficulties and I'm not the most astute person in the world, so maybe people were able to put the two and two together and I wasn't. But it would it would have been kind of nice to have a subject where that was kind of put in your face. Yeah. Sorry, I thought I heard a noise, and if I did, that means I would have to check it out. Okay, we're good for now. And that was another reason for why I was doing a short. I'm probably going to end up having to do a short, so I want to finish this up real quick. I think there's more room on the other side. Let's see if we can do some small. Uh-oh. Okay. Give me 1 second. I shall be right back. I shouldn't be too long. Yeah, sorry about that, guys. My time is pretty much up at this point, so let's just do a couple more. Definitely worked on grip, I would say. So there was something at least accomplished today. I want to do a couple of the lines. There we go. Got the pen working. So definitely was able to practice holding the pen correctly. I think that's definitely something that will be the main point of the warm-ups from now on, instead of being accurate with shapes. Eventually I'll get to accuracy with shapes, but for now I'm just trying to use a proper, what's it called? Use the proper holding method for the pen. Okay. Then let's do a couple of tries with the AB line. So I want to, oh, and something else I learned is you don't want to draw on a hard surface. So we're going to have to look into what I have to do to make sure the surface isn't hard. Alright, so let's just do... Okay. So that is... I think it's gonna be a little sloped up. Yeah. That's mostly because of the line I made. I think if I hadn't had a problem making the line, that actually would have been a pretty straight, unsloped horizontal line. Let's try that again. I think that's a sloped line. And again, I think that's mostly from my hand. Looks like that's mostly from my hand, yeah. Okay. Here. And there. There we go. Okay. Let's just do a couple more lines like that. And I'm definitely going to have to call it an end. I'll be lucky if I get a few more lines. There we go. Alright, let's see if I can do the parallel line now. Curved. This one's curved a little. That, no, that's not parallel at all. Okay, let's try this one more time. Oh my gosh, okay, let's just, fine, there. Right there. Nope. There we go. Now that. Almost. Actually, no, see, there's too many lines, so I have absolutely no idea. Okay. So let's see if I can. I just want to be able to say that I'm able to do it at least once. Okay, so there's this stuff. That should work. If I hit the direct middle, there we go. That one. That should be. There we go. Alright, I feel more confident with this. Let's try one more. Whoops. Okay. But this dot isn't even. This dot needs to be a little bit lower right here. Then I need to hit that middle mark. Cool. It's getting there. It's getting there. Definitely a lot harder than you would think. I think I have enough time to finish at least the outline border before I'm gonna have to sign off. I just want to be able to practice this. That's pretty cool. Okay. Oops. Okay. Can you get to the top dot? Whoops. There we go. I think they're sloping upward, but it's kind of funny because it's very much parallel. Okay. Nope, that one's not good. There we go. That's better. Straight lines are hard. Like perfectly straight lines are hard, and that's the whole point of this lesson is to get the perfectly straight line and to be able to do it and just do it This is like, so I understand the concept, because if you put enough time into what it is that you're trying to do, you will master it, right? It's kind of like be more terrified of the person who practiced one kick 1,000 times as opposed to a person who's practiced 1,000 kicks one time, right? Kind of a deal. So definitely, but it's more boring in a sense of there's not, because I'm doing the basics are boring to watch. But that's kind of where I am, so that's kind of just what's gonna be have to be done. So at least I was able to do a lot better than yesterday, I think. Whereas, yeah, I don't think I was able to do any straight. None of these look straight. I was so tired. Wow. These ones look a lot better today, but I'm also like keeping them shorter. I'm using the border to kind of help tell me if it's straight or not. So I'm not gonna bore you guys with this. There is a 10-day challenge on Sketchbook School's playlist of how to draw that we're gonna be doing next, and so this is kind of gonna be like another part of the warm up. So we're gonna start warming up with me just getting used to holding the pen the way that I'm supposed to be holding it, doing all these wonderful, lovely shapes, and then after that, we'll go into doing this, and then from there, we'll do the 10-day drawing thing challenge with him. So that way, there's something a little bit more exciting to watch. But for now, this is all I have time to do. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I'm sorry for the gap in between today, or the gap when I had to leave. Um, I knew that was a possibility, which is why I was trying to like get as much done as I could as quickly as I could. But it ended up not being too bad. And so I will see you all tomorrow. That is going to be the new. That's kind of going to be the new challenge for the next 10 days at least. So that'll be fun. And we'll just move on to something else after that. I hope you guys are at least gaining something from these videos. And please, if you've noticed anything or have any critiques about what you're seeing, please let me know in the comments below. If there is anyone that I should be looking up either on YouTube or through books or magazines, also please let me know as well so I can look into those. This is becoming something that is a lot more interesting than I thought it would be. I knew that I was going to enjoy the clay, but I didn't know the foundation was drying, and I didn't know drying had a lot to it. So it's pretty it's pretty intense. I'm enjoying it. There's a lot that I need to learn, so I hope you guys are patient with me and are either learning something or getting, at least there's some entertainment with these. If there's a topic that you would like me to discuss during these live streams, also please let me know in the comments below, and I can like look at it and get research it and stuff to bring it on to the next stream. Have a good rest of your day, and I will see you all back here next time. Goodbye.